How do you tell whether or not a piece of jewelry like this is brass? It's hard to tell with looking at it because it looks like a piece of gold, right? It looks like it's gold. Well, lo and behold, it's actually brass. So in today's video, we're going to go over a couple tips that you can do at home to identify brass jewelry. Number one, your color and shine. While it really varies depending on the piece of jewelry that you're wearing, if it looks like this, like that, right there, if I can get the camera to focus, right there, then you can tell that it's brass or another metal that you don't exactly want your jewelry to be made out of unless you're, balling on a budget. But brass typically has a warm yellowish tone compared to the cooler, more silver-like appearance of stainless steel, gold, or silver. So over time, brass can develop tarnish to give it a more antique-ish look, which is why brass jewelry can sometimes look like that if it's new, or could look like this if it's old. Number two, the magnet test. Brass is not a magnetic metal, so if you hold a magnet and it's not attracted to it, it can most likely be brass. More than likely it's brass if you buy it at a low price point. But however, this test is not conclusive, as silver and gold and stainless steel are also non-magnetic metals. So metals like gold or copper could also give the same result. Number three, the weight of your piece. Brass is generally a heavier piece than aluminum, but tends to be a little bit lighter than a pure copper. Comparing the chain's weight to a known piece of brass could give clues that it is brass, but like the magnet test, it's not exactly conclusive, because gold and silver pieces can also have the same exact weight of a piece of brass. Because if you compare the weight of this tennis chain that's made of brass to one of my other tennis chains with CZ stones and 925 sterling silver, this one is going to be a little bit lighter, and the sterling silver one is going to be a little bit heavier, but they'll feel the same when you put them in your hands at first. But it's really when you have to get a close inspection of the two weights that you actually can determine what's brass and what's not. Number four, a more effective test, the smell test. So brass has a slight metallic smell to it, especially if it starts to tarnish, whereas stainless steel, gold, silver, your other metals like that don't exactly have a metallic smell to it. So if it has a strong metallic smell, it could be made with pieces or metals like iron, cobalt, manganese, nickel, some of those pieces, which will stick to a magnet because they're ferromagnetic metals. That's where the magnet test comes in. However, you'll only really start to smell the metal if it starts to tarnish. So like this right here, if I were to smell this, put it up to my nose, smell it, it smells like, iron, a little bit of iron. So that tells me that this is likely brass. But if you put your nose to the plated piece here, you can still kind of smell it, but it's not as strong as the tarnished area. And finally, check for coating. Brass jewelry tends to be coated to prevent tarnishing, to give it the more look of a piece of gold. So you can look for signs of peeling, you can look for signs of tarnishing or wearing away, like this, or let's see if I can find it. This here, I don't know if the camera can kind of pick that up just a little bit, but that right there, the plating is kind of fading away. But yeah, that's how you can tell. That's how you can tell if your piece is brass, or at least give you some clues about your piece that is actually brass. This here is obviously a brass piece. I tried it with like a magnet test and all that fun stuff. But yeah, that'll conclude the video. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.